Omega Gaming Unleashed also playing today against World Class Rise. So both of the Omega Gaming teams here, which find themselves in the losers bracket, are going to be having to put up a fight today to keep their spots here in the UJL.
Yep, they are, and we are now into this game number 2 draft. No time wasted here as we load ourselves in. What are we expecting to see here from the Banditos to maybe make something different happen in the game number 2 here?
Well, clearly, they had some issues, I think, with the mid lane pick, right? You had the Echo that was going into the Victor there. Um, I want to see them draft winning lanes, right? If you're not going to draft yourself winning lanes and the enemy team has winning lanes and late game scaling, it kind of pigeonholes yourself to where if you're not having like great jungle influence to be able to get those lanes ahead, it makes it really kind of difficult for you to be able to have any kind of point of power in that game, which is kind of what we saw there, right? The Olaf got shut down early. With getting shut down early, Kane was able to kind of pretty much do whatever he wanted on the map, able to get his lanes that were already winning farther ahead. And it just kind of snowballed from there. So I want to see stronger solo lane picks coming in here to be able to win the lane. The Malphite, sure, he's a great tank. He scales relatively well, but he's not winning a whole lot of matchups. The Echo as well, it's kind of a difficult pick there into the victors. So that's what I want to see.
Yeah, 100%. And I did completely throw you in at the end there, play by play, showing off more analysis than anything. But very well done to yourself as well. But I'm 100% with you. If I could echo the sentiments, I will do. If they're going to pick an early game jungler like that, then they are going to need to pick some stronger lanes to be able to facilitate the Olaf and his early game pressure. Because yes, great, you'll have a nice 1 versus 1 in the jungle, but in this style of competition where all the guys are on voice comms and all the junglers can call for the help of the laners, it's never really going to be a 1 versus 1 unless you're caught in the outer extremities of the map where the roams from the laners aren't as readily available. And we sort of see already kind of a run back here. Never mind, we've got a Jinx AD carry with all of the AD carries up on the table. Looks like the Banditos have gone for a Jinx over anything else.
Well, I guess they want a hyperscale for the late game here. Echo, though, going to get picked up once again for Omega Gaming Banditos. If this is not a jungle pick, what stops Oasis captains from just saying, all right, well, you want to take the Echo again? We're going to pick back up the Victor into the mid lane here. I do not agree with this draft 100%, but it's going to be interesting to see exactly how they're going to take this one here. If they do pick up the Victor here in response to the Echo, obviously Omega Gaming Banditos is putting a lot of priority on that Echo pick, so I'd be surprised if it doesn't go mid just based upon that, first pick. But Poppy going to get hovered here for Oasis captains, is going to get locked in, presumably the top lane pick here for Polar Bear Minion. So, going to take a little bit more of a back seat in this game, not picking the set to be able to pick those fights, but picking the Poppy there for the disengage, maybe as a counter here to the Echo to be able to kind of protect this Ashe a little more as this game goes on. So slight adjustments here in the draft. We do see Syndra getting picked up here for Omega Gaming Banditos, which means this Echo is going to the jungle.
Exactly, nice flex here from Omega. They do show their hand a little bit early, so I would have liked to see them maybe hold on to their mid pick until the second round, maybe bait Oasis into the Victor, or Victor into Echo. This is a nice matchup, we can handle this, but then, if you swap it around, pick the Syndra or pick a more favourable matchup in the mid lane once you've got the bait out of what their mid laner would have been. Might have been nice, but the guys on Banditos are going to be happy to take the Syndra, a really strong mid laner. Even with the slight nerfs that came through a couple patches ago, still definitely worth seeing play. And with the bans now coming out for the second phase here, we got Lucian and Yasuo, two really nice counters to the Syndra in the mid lane, getting banned away from Omega. And this is alluding to why they will have picked Syndra in this side of the draft, because if Oasis captains had have seen Yasuo and Lucian banned away, then Oasis captains would have easily been able to deduce, okay, they probably want to play this matchup. They want to play Syndra because Yasuo and Lucian are really strong into this particular lane, and they would have had their final ban to get rid of the Syndra, but with the drafting coming through from Banditos, not allowing them to do that in particular. And interestingly, picking the Alistair into the Poppy, which typically isn't something that you'd often see just due to the Headbutt Pulverize combo really getting neutralized if the Steadfast Presence is sitting on the carries where they want to engage.
Yeah, I'm taking a look here though. I do just want to kind of pinpoint on some of these other picks here. We do have the Rek'Sai going in the jungle here, but they do have the option here from Oasis captains. Are they going to pick something that can counter that Syndra, or are they going to go for the typical mage to mage farm lane in mid here? They do have some other options that could be on the table. The Zed is still available, something that can really kind of lock down the Syndra. And there it is, LeBlanc. Yep. So this is kind of the type of pick that I wanted to see coming out of the mid lane here for Arc. We do have the LeBlanc into the Syndra here, which is kind of difficult for Syndra to deal with, especially once LeBlanc gets to that power where she can just go in and basically one-shot you. So that can kind of be a little bit of an issue here. Syndra can kind of have issues being able to set that up because of LeBlanc's ability to kind of go in from range. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to manage that. Again, they get the counter pick in the mid lane here. Mordekaiser, though, going to be the answer for the Poppy. So this is going to be a battle here between, okay, we have the priority and the type of pick we wanted here in the top lane with Mordekaiser and Poppy, but they get the pick that they want in from LeBlanc into Syndra. So seeing where these junglers are going to go, where they're going to put their attention. Both of them tend to be these kind of like early game junglers that want to be able to get some early game pressure, especially the Rek'Sai. So I'm expecting there to be some mega pressure on this Syndra, who's relatively immobile. Rek'Sai can easily dodge the scatter of the weak with her ultimate. So seeing some of these interactions, I am kind of worried here for Omega Gaming Banditos if they're not able to absorb the pressure that they're going to have in the mid game, in the mid lane. It could be kind of an issue.
Yeah, there's definitely onus really on Omega Gaming to play this comp a lot better than their counterparts. Feel as though the front to back fighting here for Oasis captains alongside the potential flanks coming through the LeBlanc are going to make it really easy for the Oasis captains to play out these fights. Essentially, they know exactly what they want to do. They're going to have a Rek'Sai or Poppy from one side, LeBlanc from another side, and essentially collapse onto the Omega Gaming Banditos squad. So really look for the flanks to be warded out from Banditos, because something that you can do versus a LeBlanc very easily is just group up and take a 5 versus 5. And unless the LeBlanc is scarily strong, which is not something that you'd often see, it's going to really neutralize her threat. It's when you start putting LeBlanc in a side lane and having to send one member to answer the LeBlanc that you start finding difficulties, and her dueling capability really does come out in force. So, look to see whether or not Arc can navigate his way into a split pushing role, or whether or not the side of Banditos can force him to a 5 versus 5. And something we didn't really touch on is going to be the top lane matchup, because we touched on the Poppy being picked up, acting as a more supportive role for Polar Bear Minion, but this time around, we've got Blood King on the Mordekaiser, so definitely different takes for each of these top laners, essentially swapping roles, with Blood King going to be a more carry-focused champion here, Polar Bear Minion on the Poppy, more supportive style, and we'll have to see whether or not Blood King can get himself an early advantage versus this Poppy, because as soon as the Poppy builds up maybe just a little bit of magic resistance, she's going to be specking into the Sunfire Cape and specking into probably more health, because looking holistically at the Bandito squad, I see one source of attack damage that's going to be coming through from the Jinx, and then I just see 3 more attack or ability power carries rather. So if the side of Oasis captains are able to buy some magic resist early on or at any point during the game, and then Arc is able to shut down Civil with a one combo on the LeBlanc, it's really just going to be unplayable for the Banditos guys, because they've spec'd so heavily into the Jinx. Keeping it alive is going to be so pivotal for them to take team fights in their favor.
Yeah, and it should work out for them, I think, in their favor. They do have the Alistar to be able to deny some of that engage here. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what they're going to be able to get with that. But there's so much backline access, like you were saying, the LeBlanc and the Rek'Sai. It could be maybe a little bit difficult, depending on how these team fights are kind of set up for. But ladies and gentlemen, we are finished up here with the in-game client draft. We're getting ready to head on over to our 3-minute spectator delay for competitive integrity. Again, I am the Idea PC, joined by Rude Dude here on the casting desk as we're loading up here for game number 2 of the UJL playoff series here between Omega Gaming, Banditos, and Oasis captains. Do not go anywhere. Do not change that browser. We will see you right after the break, and we will be loading out onto Summoner's Rift. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Idea PC, joined by Rude here on the desk as we're getting ready to load up and get out here on Summoner's Rift for game number 2 of the Upsurge Junior League playoffs here, losers bracket. In this matchup between Omega Gaming Banditos and Oasis Captains, who managed to get the better of Omega in game number 1.
Yeah, they did. So right now we've got the side of Banditos fighting for their UJL lives right now. They are 0-1 in the losers bracket right now, so a loss here will signify the end of their run in the UJL. Obviously, that's not what we want. We want to see them come back, claw into this game and give us the silver scrapes. You know how we'd love to be queuing that one up in the next intermission. And really, we talked about it a little bit, didn't we, in the little intermission that we had. We are going to be looking to see Slacking here on this Echo really step up a little bit from game number 1, because he picked himself the Olaf, the early game focused jungler last time, and really didn't have the impact that he needed to in order to enable a snowball for the Banditos. So if he can maybe step it up on that Echo, get some more ganks going in the early game, or get himself to a level 6 mark where he's significantly stronger in the skirmishes, then there's definitely a better chance of the Banditos for winning this game and taking us to that all-important game 3.
Absolutely, that's what they need to do. That's what they have to have here in game number 2 to be able to get themselves to that game number 3. Junglers here both opting for their red buffs, and Rek'Sai gonna immediately path on over to the blue buff here, looking to pick that early double buff and take one away here from the Echo. If he does not come over in time, that could be easily going on over. There's no vision that's going to tell them that Rek'Sai is there. So unfortunately here, it doesn't look like that will be a buff that will be going on over to this Rek'Sai for free in the jungle there. Kind of unfortunate. Slacking already going to be put on a back foot as this game is starting off. So Hare opting to go for the Gromp as well. Sybil there, though, having the flash and cleanse herself out. You know, I did want to talk about the cleanse on this champion, right? You do have just so much CC that comes out from Dumb Chemist and Itchy Rat here that it does kind of become difficult if you don't take the cleanse to kind of deal with this matchup here. Zohair there gonna take up the Grump and the blue buff as well. Slacking going to really be struggling for camps here. Has the level 3 advantage, might be looking for an engage here. Able to find a little bit of damage, but nothing more than that. And overall here, not looking too great as far as the early game is concerned for the side of Omega Gaming Banditos. Rek'Sai able to get that early invade. They knew the Mordekaiser was missing, and Rek'Sai making a smart decision there, immediately pathing on over to steal not 1, but 2 camps away from the Echo. Absolutely crucial here.
Yeah, and the pivotal thing here is that he's going to be able to go back and farm all 5 camps on his side of the map that he hasn't taken, and most likely going to be able to contest the Scuttle Crab here. We look at top and we look at mid. Both of these lanes are pushing in favour of Oasis Captains, meaning that this top side crab is really going to be up for, really not up for contention rather. Slacking looks like he's going to go for it, but with Polar Bear here, it's going to be a fight.
Look for the damage there. Polar Bear just going to kind of knock him away and say, hey, what's up? Rek'Sai, though, going to go in for the tunnels here, finding the burrow into the Echo's jungle here. Going to find him around the side of the Rookkrug's pit here. Flash coming out with the knock-up now, looking for the kill. Can he find the damage? One more auto would have done it, but that's not going to be enough there. Taking some turret shots. Syndra with the roam now. Could be in some trouble here for Zohair. Do they have the damage? The nice pull from Mordekaiser. Finds the obliterate, but not able to find the scatter the weak there, and that will be Zohair managing to find himself up and out over the Baron Pit.
Yeah, in fairness, what we have to remember there is that all of those skill shots were blind. So Blood King actually landing the pull-in the first case was kind of impressive. He wasn't expecting to, you know, we saw it with a slightly delayed obliterate, and when you then have to throw in a blind scatter of the weak as well on top of trying to calculate where the Mordekaiser pull would have taken him to, not the easiest of skill shots for Cool Crab, and does unfortunately miss on it, and does let Zohair take the free ride back out from his tunnels. And have to see now, because Zohair is low on the HP here, and Slacking has managed to base and get the Stalker's Blade. Gonna look like Slacking's gonna be able to pick himself up a crab on the bot side, especially with Civil and A-Hop escorting themselves toward that crab. Gonna look at getting Slacking a little bit of an advantage back. after really getting out jungled in the pathing sense early on.
Yes, indeed. Here, Blood King gonna find a little bit of damage on a polar bear minion. Not going to be, healthy enough there for the dive. Poppy though, a little bit low for health, a little bit worse for wear. Dumb Chemist playing pretty aggressively down there in the bot lane as well, trying to give his Ashe plenty of room. And Mordekaiser going to find his way going back to the fountain here, picking himself up the blasting one and boots here. Could be an early Rylai's for the Mordekaiser. Definitely on the table for first item. Echo, though, trying to do his best to clear out his jungle. Rek'Sai, though, doing what she can to be able to deny as many camps as possible. Does not have the vision of the Cinder, but should have had it right there with the Tremor Sense. Flash, though, coming out from Arc here, finds the chain down. The root is there, but they do not have the damage to follow up. Polar Bear Minion gonna roam down here just in case anything crazy goes on, but Slack King here, forced to recall. Should mean that the Raptors will go on over to the Rek'Sai here. Great early game jungling coming out from this Captain Oasis jungler.
Yeah,
Maybe a fight towards the bot side. I don't know. A-Hop gonna be kind of low here. Trap's coming out. Is gonna find the root down onto Ashe. The slow not gonna find its way as the blind blocks it. Blood King though coming in with the teleport. Gonna take that Ashe on over to the Death Realm. Itchy Rat. It will be first blood here in favor of Omega Gaming Banditos. Put themselves on the board in game number 2.
yeah, and double TP is expended down onto the bot side. Cool Crab responds with a TP as Arc does show himself on the bot lane, on the river ward that Banditos have as he walked out. Has now expired, however, but really funny little interaction occurring there with the TP. You know, Blood King came in and then pretty much immediately death realmed on the timing that A-Hop decided to commit his flash combo, but ultimately a slight waste of flash, but it was necessary from Blood King to throw out that death realm because the lantern was right there from Dumb Chemist, and even if the knock-up had have connected, you'd have to think that Ichirat would be able to click on that lantern and get himself to safety, if not for the switch of dimensions from the Mordekaiser.
Absolutely. Taking a look, though, here. Echo doing his best to keep himself relevant in experience and in CS, despite kind of that tragic early game that he had with his camps going the way of Zohair. But talking about things going the way of Zohair here, managing to pick himself up, the Infernal Dragon here. Going to be able to pad some of the extra damage as this game goes off into the late game here for his team, using that lane priority that they've got bot side and the knowledge that Syndra was in a recall to be able to pick that one up safely and securely. Here, Ping is now coming on over to the Herald. Rek'Sai probably going to go on over there, give it a little check, give it a little poke. There you go, secure some of that vision on the scuttle. Looks like that is what the plan will be here. And overall, Rek'Sai is just able to slightly get ahead of the Echo here in the jungle. The death sentence going to land on a Sybil. Not going to really mean much. But, as far as this jungle matchup goes, what does mean quite a bit is the fact that Zohair has just been faster on the rotations. And that is partly due to the fact that he did have the camp advantage. Being able to get himself not only up in CS, but up in a little bit of gold as well. And, things are really starting to go Zohair's way. When you take into consideration that his laners do have priority, Poppy is up and ahead in CS against the Mordekaiser. It does really just benefit them overall. They have the TP advantages here for both solo laners. And it's going to be really, really hard for the side of Omega Gaming Banditos to be able to contest any of these neutral objectives.
Yeah, especially with, as you mentioned, the double teleport advantage that Arc and Polar Bear Minion have got. If you just send one of those guys down to the bot lane and form a switch with your bot lane, Ichirat and Dumb Chemist gonna likely be able to rotate up should they need the rotation to come through to secure the Rift Herald. But you talked about it a little bit there with this CS lead on the top side, and Polar Bear Minions picked himself up that Spectre's Cowl, and until the Liandry's comes through from Blood King, there's really not a way for him to win these trades. Just the early Spectre's Cowl, the health regen that it gives as well, upon taking the magical damage, it just makes it kind of impossible for Blood King to trade effectively versus Polar Bear here. The early Poppy base damages in combination with how much health that she's got, along with Corrupting Potion as well, really makes it a difficult time for Blood King, and he's just going to be basing, farming up the minions, not even bothered about fighting, and just keeping the CS about as trying to keep the deficit as even as it can be, because he's likely not going to be able to catch up in this lane, because Polar Bear Minion really is just able to walk around and last hit what he pleases and just keep himself as relatively strong as he can.
Absolutely. Rek'Sai going to path her way on over to the top side of the map here. Going to use that priority with the Poppy in the top lane there to focus on this Rift Herald. Going to be able to nag themselves up another neutral objective here. Going to go into the hands of Zohair. Going to be looking to place this one down here. Nice death sentence going to land on Ahop, but no follow through here with the Itchy Rat. They do not know where the Echo is. That is probably a good idea. Echo is waiting down in the bottom side jungle wings here, looking for someone. That's it. Gonna be a lot of damage though coming out from Zohair here. Manages to find the damage. Manages to get the Void Rush there. And a flash gonna come out here from Arc. Zohair though in the wings here, trying to give his mid laner some support. And that will be done quite nicely actually. Good turret dive executed here from the side of Oasis captains.
Yeah, unfortunately just a little bit late on the flash from Coolcrab there. As soon as you see that Rek'Sai burrow over the wall, you have to kind of expect that he's going to look for that flash, and you have to throw out the Scatter the Weak, or you have to flash preemptively. Neither of those unfortunately came through, and really close to getting the trade kill onto Arc with him tanking the turret. Unfortunately didn't manage to cast Scatter the Weak, which would have been enough, and with the phase dive flash coming through from Slacking, unfortunately didn't quite have the range. Arc fast enough on his own flash to get himself to safety. And in the end, it is just a nice 1-for-0 trade going the way of Oasis captains. You know, we've not actually seen too much fighting 12 minutes into this game. Definitely slower paced than we saw in game number 1. And if I'm looking at this comp, as both of these comps go into the late game, it's really difficult to suggest which team has the scaling advantage, because Rek'Sai kind of falls off late game. We need to see the Rek'Sai, you know, pressure early, and we did see that happen with the camp advantage that he took over Slacking. But since then, he's kind of been a little bit quiet. Obviously, with the 1 kill back in mid lane, has reasserted his power on the map. But up until that point, there was sort of a 8 or minute so lull where nothing really was going his way, and the junglers were just farming up. And in the sheer jungle sense, if this game goes later on, you have to favour the Echo as a late game champion over a Rek'Sai, just because of how easy it is to kite out a Rek'Sai, and the damage that she does really does diminish as the game goes later and later. And then as well, you can't deny the late game potential that Civil will have on this Jinx. Jinx, super late game hyper carry that can do a lot of damage if left unchecked in the late game team fights. But Rift Herald is summoned in the mid lane now, again before that 14-minute mark. So I have to see whether or not Arc can get the charge and get the gold down, as we see the Ocean Drake is started up.
Be looking for some damage here, and that's going to go right on over. Rek'Sai is going to be able to pick that one up. Slacking going to find himself in some trouble. The arrow downtown going to be dodged here, but not the death sentence will seal his fate. LeBlanc able to pick that one up. Able to pick it up 1-0-1 here on the LeBlanc now. Some much needed gold for the mid game of this LeBlanc that we will be seeing here in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Well done here by the side of Oasis captains, able to dominate this game with the neutral objective control really working out in their favor.
Yeah, you know, they use the Rift Herald to create the pressure vacuum in the mid lane. Meant that Slacking had to go into that mid lane to pick up or to deny the Rift Herald charge. Then they prioritized denying that charge so heavily in the end that it cost Slacking his life, which is effectively the same thing as the Herald charging, because with 2 plates that would have been going down split amongst the 2 members, that would have been a combination of 320 gold. So, you know, overall, I guess 20 gold net profit for the side of, or what would have been profit for Banditos, but obviously with the time wasted that Slacking spent dead, Zohair has been managing to pick up a little bit more farm, and he's going to be out on the map collecting the XP while Slacking was dead. Say that though, they are both level 8. I have to imagine that Zohair's fairly close to level 9 though, as Slacking has just ticked over. And nice, want to quickly touch, you know, nice itemization from Polar Bear Minion here. The adaptive helm coming out early on, and you can see it ticking away here, doing a lot of work on this engaged top.
Definitely go in their favor here, but Zohair coming up has the Void Rush available, but the Indestructible there from Blood King as well. Derek's going to be called in now. Ooh, so very close here. One more tower shot. The Triumph will save this Rek'Sai. A-Hop going to find the hook there. Going to find the flay. The damage coming on through. Itchy Rat going to be able to slow him into oblivion here. The teleport's now getting called in. Mordekaiser maybe on his way. Coming on down here, looking for something. Mordekaiser teleport not going to come through because he's dead. But cool crab there with the teleport instead.
Not able to.
Well, yeah, no deaths going down there in the bot lane. Looked like it could have been a kill, but cool crap with the teleport able to dissuade the rest of Oasis captains from pursuing that engage any further here. But a good dive coming up from the top side of the map. The Triumph barely letting Zohair survive.
Yeah, and you have to think that if Blood King had just been a little bit more willing to engage with the Death Realm onto Zohair there, that he would have lived and got the kill trade back himself. Polar Bear minion ended up flashing to secure the stun into the wall, but there was ample opportunity for Blood King to just use that Death Realm on Zohair as he came out of the Void Rush to get himself out. That would have isolated Zohair under the turret, and without the follow-up damage from Polar Bear minion, he would have been more than safe and easily would have picked up the kill. So slight misplay from Blood King on the top side, good capitalization from the Oasis captains to get the kill nonetheless. And now we're just sort of seeing, you know, the one area where there's going to be potential for Omega Gaming to come back into this game is with Civil and A-Hop down on the bot side. Not yet given away any kills, and they've actually managed to pick up a kill onto Itchy Rat with the help of you know, the teleports coming down. So this is really where you want your one bright spot to be. It is going to be this Jinx, the late game insurance policy, and if she is able to keep farming up, then that's going to be great for them as to engage bot lane.
Yeah, Ash gonna find the arrow down there. Just gonna be a little bit of damage traded back and forth here overall, but this early game state, you know, slightly going on over in favor for Oasis captains. They do have the dragons, they do have the heralds here, able to pick up both of those. But it's not really netting them like a huge, massive gold advantage that you might be expecting with all these neutral objectives going their way. Only about in favor, actually 200 gold in favor of currently Omega Gaming Banditos. However, with that Shelly being called up in the mid lane, will kind of swing back a couple hundred gold the other way here. But, you know, relatively speaking, a close game despite all of these neutral objectives that have gone over to the side of Oasis captains.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, with the trade of turrets, sending 3 people to essentially shut down one of the turrets on either side, going to be actually, you know, I favour that trade for Oasis captains. Mid-tier 1 is going to be ample, gives them ample space to walk in and out of the red jungle for the side of Oasis captains here. And that bot lane tier 1 really doesn't open up too much of the map for Omega Gaming Banditos. Obviously, Drake is coming up soon, and A-Hop does want to get vision down, but might be caught from Dumb Chemist and Zohair just sitting around. It's going to be a Mountain Soul this game, so have to see whether or not these increased resistances can come through for either side. And Blood King, without the teleport, knows he has to walk down from base.
Oh no. Slack King gonna find a death sentence there. Just kind of walking back and forth here. You see the vision control, though, going over to the side of Omega Gaming Banditos. They are the first ones here onto the Dragon Pit. They're going to have the advantage here, possibly, but A-Hop going to get burst down relatively quickly there. Zohair going to fall down, though. That's going to be the kill going on over his way. Dumb Chemist going to go golden here, but he will fall here. Slack King able to find the damage onto the back line here. Arc in some trouble, but he's going to have the support of Polar Bear Minion here to back him up. Overall here, trading 2 for 2, both junglers down here, and the AD carry for the side of Omega Gaming Banditos has fallen.
Yeah, really nice.
Gotta be careful.
Really nice play from Arc there. Gets himself the kill onto Civil. It was practically full HP, but the jump over the wall managed to secure the kill. Arc, really nice assassin play here. Finding the pockets in vision, finding the avenues into the AD carry, and looks like these teams still posturing to go for this Drake here. Respawns come through for both sides, and both of them are just running straight down towards this Drake here.
Yeah, they've got to be careful here. Arc does have, you know, the potential to be able to jump onto A-Hop and burst him down pretty easily here. The rest of the members of both squads are going to be making their way on over here, where we're going to have another team fight. Hawkshot coming in. Zohair's in position. Blood King in some trouble now. No Void Rush needed. That's just the kill going on over his way. A-Hop going to fall as well. 2 for 0 now, traded in this extended team fight, and the Cool Crab will have to force the flash out to get himself to safety. That's going to be an easy Mountain Dragon and Soul Point going on over to the side of Oasis Captains here. And Civil going to take a huge amount of damage there. Half his health bar gone from Mark.
Yep, you know, he does burn the flash. Arc gets the flash out from Civil, which means that, you know, the future engages, the future team fights are going to be really difficult for Civil to navigate, especially with Polar Bear Minion having the flash available. Arc as well. There's going to be 3 dive champions as well as, you know, Thresh acting as the third. Going to be 3 champions that are able to flash on in onto Civil, and the one key consistent damage source needs to be able to be kept safe, and the comp from Banditos really doesn't allow for that all too well. There's, you know, Scatter the Weak, Disengage, and Mordekaiser can take somebody into the Death Realm, but there's not too much protection, too much peel for Civil when you consider that A-Hop is likely going to be trying to use his Headbutt Pulverize to disrupt Ichirat in the backline as well. So we're going to be looking to see whether or not the Banditos boys can keep Civil safe in these team fights if they do ensue. And honestly, can't really see anything occurring for the next 5 minutes. We're going to probably just wait, farm up our lanes, and if there's a little pick in vision somewhere, that'd be ideal for the Banditos just to give themselves a little bit of gold back. But nothing particularly to fight over for the next 3 or 4 minutes while the Mountain Drake spawns, because if the side of Oasis...
Flank. Dump Chemist here on the side here, going to clear some vision out. I don't like how this looks, though. They've got a numbers advantage. There it is. Yep, coming on in here. They're able to find the hook. Civil's gonna get the death sentence laid down onto him here. Snow Hair with the damage, able to follow it up, picking himself up the kill. Dumb Chemist with a nice ultimate there, going to dissuade the re-engage here from OGB. And that's the kind of pick you were talking about, Rude Dude. They're able to find it there. A Thresh hook over the back of the Raptors pit is what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, you know, it's a good kill going the way of Oasis Captains, but ultimately it doesn't look like it's going to amount to too much more, just because Slacking was able to put down a fair amount of damage onto Zohair and Dumb Chemist, so Zohair was forced to recall. So they're not going to go for the Baron, which is something that was on the table. With 22 minutes in, and really only Ichirat is the consistent DPS, I suppose, that would go onto this Baron. Not going to opt for it. They're still 2,000 gold ahead here. Not a significant advantage, not the size that they'd achieved in game number 1 by any means, and Civil has got 2 items on this Jinx, so is now going to be pumping out the damage in the team fights. Runan's Rockets combination is going to do a fair amount of damage if, of course, he's able to stay safe, and Dumb Chemist, if he finds more hooks like that, it's going to be finding his mark onto Civil, who does now have the cleanse, so that engage isn't going to be as easy as it was last time round.
Indeed, it will not be here, but you know, right now, map state just really going on over to the side of Oasis Captains. They've been able to kind of control this like mid to early game just really methodically, right? They're not going for these flashy plays. They're not going for you know, huge turret dives that may be risky in nature. They're really just going for the smart, slow play here. You know, being able to pick up these objectives very easily, only fighting when they really, really need to, or when they find, you know, really, really good picks. So really just Oasis Captains playing very, very smartly here around vision. You know, I mean, you saw it earlier in this game. I believe it was around the Mountain Dragon fight that ensued earlier in this game. You know, A-Hop kind of found himself a little bit out of position, and there was absolutely zero hesitation from this Oasis Captain squad to be able to pounce on that overextended member. So they've just been extremely decisive here. You see now Dumb Chemist clearing out the vision here. They're looking to catch him out. Could be the case. Hawkshot going to find and spot it out, though, here, as A-Hop and Slacking go ahead and back off here. And that's the beautiful thing about Ash. I mean, you're able to just get yourself the vision. When something doesn't seem or feel right, the Hawkshot really does come in handy.
Yeah, it really does. You know, you've basically got 2 free Scryer's Blooms that are global from level 2 or level 3, depending on when you spec into that skill in particular. So, super safe champion if you can pilot it effectively, but I just want to quickly, once again, touch on this top side here, because Polar Bear Minion has picked himself up an Abyssal Mask as well to combat this Mordekaiser, and The Mordekaiser opting for the Nash's Tooth before even finishing the Liandry's, I have to say is not what I'd expected to see, because when you see this much magic resist stacked up and you're consistently side laning versus the Poppy, I'd like to see the Liandry's finish for the percentage health burn, and I'd like to see a Void Staff coming through, because those two items are going to be doing much more in a team fight for you, or in the side lanes rather, than this Nash's Tooth. But we do see now this Mountain Soul here for Oasis Captain spawning.
They have to fight for it, Rude Dude. They don't really have too much of an option here.
Exactly.
Polar Bear
Recalls on
minion.
the top side coming through for TPs as well.
Yeah. He's already just so tanky, you know. He's building the Warden's Mail there. You know, could be going into a Random's Omen. I believe, yeah, okay. Teleport now coming in here from Blood King. Gonna make this a 5v4, at least for the time being here, but they're not gonna be able to find anyone out of position here. You see Oasis Captain's just taking very slow. Poppy, though, might be found out, could be caught out here. The slow's coming in, but she has the speed up, able to get herself back up to safety.
Arc on the top side as well.
Yep, coming on through, looking for it. Trying to find, they have the vision around the side here. If somebody gets spotted out here, that could be so much damage coming through. He's gonna take it. Oh, Civil, oh my gosh, Civil, where did your health bar go? The flash is in vain. Cool Crab taken into the death. No, excuse me. Who is taken? There's Zohair. Zohair taken into the death room. Gonna save up Cool Crab here, but it's not gonna be enough. That is unfortunate here. Arc just gonna go on a rampage. Gonna put down the Echo into the dirt slacking. Gonna fall here. Cool Crab having a flash over, but is it not? Oh, jeez. LeBlanc just going on an absolute rampage here. Picking herself up 3 kills in this extended trade. The ace here for Oasis Captains. The vision control coming out clutch here for Oasis Captains to start off that fight.
Yep, Arc essentially made that fight a 4 versus 5 with the pick onto Civil. You know, he kind of got pigeonholed into a position where no flash would have saved in there, because if he flashes towards the mid lane there, Polar Bear minion was ready and waiting with that empowered auto attack at range to be able to take him out. And then, you know, the flash that he ended up going for was still in range of the ethereal chain. So ultimately here, just as you mentioned, a lack of vision really set up. They didn't see where LeBlanc was, and ultimately that was their downfall. Arc picking up Civil in the solo, basically on his own, winning that team fight for Oasis Captains and securing themselves the Mountain Soul, which I was going to say earlier on does make the Baron take so much easier, because even if they didn't have this super tanky Poppy who's going to be able to tank up the Baron for an Oblivion, an insane amount of time, and the Ashe to DPS it down, they've now all got a nice little 200-300 health shield that makes the Baron even weaker and even easier to take for themselves.
Yep, looking for the fight now. There it is. Polar Bear gonna find it onto Slacking. Gonna Chrono shift away here, trying to get himself to safety. Ashe Arrow gonna miss. Death Sentence gonna miss. He could just be out here. Close call here for the jungler of Omega Gaming, Banditos. You've got to be careful for these picks. They're really just looking for it. One of these picks can easily signal a Baron here for this fight. They're going to continue going on here. Damage now coming through. They found Polar Bear minion out, but he's very, very tanky. Shut down now going on over to Civil there. Able to pick the kill up. Death Realm will bring Dumb Chemist into the 1v1 here. Can they have the damage to be able to knock him down? The flash coming out. He's away. Flay not going to be enough though. 2-4-0 trade over here for Omega Gaming Banditos. This could be the win that they needed. Echo though going to go toe-to-toe here with Arc. Has to be very, very, very careful though. One combo can pretty much delete his health bar and delete him off of Summoner's Rift here. Does not have the Chrono Shift to be able to get himself away, but should be up here off cooldown shortly. They're going to be able to pick themselves up, possibly what may be their second tower of the game here. But there is no Baron push or Baron go button being called from the side of Omega Gaming Banditos. I think this is an interesting call. They may have had time there just to be able to burst it down with the respawn timers of these champions going their way, but unfortunately they're just going to trade one tower for it. LeBlanc was bot side. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I think that the issue here for Banditos in that particular instance was that they hadn't taken down Zohair, right? And also they sent the wrong member back to deal with the LeBlanc. They sent Slacking back. They sent their Smite down bot lane, meaning that going for that Baron there is actually not possible because they don't have a Smite to secure it, right? And That's not to say that they shouldn't have gone for the Baron. It's to say that they could have sent a better member back. But a fight here mid.
Oh, Blood King gonna get caught out by the arrow there. Damage coming right on through. Civil just does not have the damage to be able to put them down. A-Hop gonna find the death sentence here. The Flay gonna be coming up. The knockups coming on through. A-Hop in some danger here. Health bar going down slowly, trying to regen up, but there is no support. Civil gonna get jumped on here by Polar Bear, Minion, and the Echo. They're gonna get nicely blocked there. Good micro mechanics there coming out from Polar Bear, Minion. The waves are going to get pushed in. Another hook going to come out here from the Thresh. Not going to quite land. They have to be careful. They do not have the time. LeBlanc pushing in the bottom wave here is going to find a tower. It's just continual and unrelenting pressure here from the side of Oasis captains here at 30 minutes in the game. Base is under siege. Baron not even needed.
Yeah, I mean, I think they probably did need the Baron, because we see here that Slacking with the Time Winder and Jinx with Runan's Rockets is actually able to keep the minions away for long enough to get rid of them, and unfortunately no siege is able to come through. So those 2 kills that they get don't again amount to anything. We're 31 minutes into this game now, and your Ashe has got 2 completed items. I feel as though you probably should be looking to turn to that Baron when you get 2 kills. You've got TP on Arc, so you can keep him down on the bot side of the map, and if he needs to come over, you can expend that teleport to answer a engage. But that situation, I feel the Baron is a much better call for the Oasis captains, but they don't go for it in the end, and now they're going to have to try and look for their own picks once again. Not to say that they can't, because they do have the Ashe Arrow, which has been so crucial, really, in trying to find these picks. Civil doesn't have cleanse, so if he gets found out by an arrow, he's going to have to burn the flash to dodge it, or just have quick fingers trying to get himself away. We'll have to see if a potential Baron play comes through with Cool Crab down on the spot side. Does have the teleport, so it's going to be up to Oasis captains once again to negotiate a positive situation to take the Baron.
Yeah, all teleports up here for all of the carries, the solo laners here. But overall, I mean, Oasis captains just taking this game very, very slow. They've just slowly been working on this gold lead for themselves, now sitting at about 5.5K. And, not willing to take any, really major risks, right? Which, when you're this far ahead and you've got the advantage, you've got this Mountain Soul, you're able to absorb the pressure and the poke from Cool Crab. It would be nice to see maybe a little more initiative. They could just be waiting here for the Elder buff for the fight, trying to bait maybe the rest of Omega Gaming Banditos in. But it's a very, very dark jungle here for Omega Gaming Banditos. They do not have the vision. They're going to have to walk in and face check this, and this is the ideal situation for the LeBlanc here. A single ward next to the blue pit is all that they have to be able to try and spot her out, but she's looking for the flanks. She's looking for the angles. She's trying to find something here. This might be it, actually. They have vision, but they're walking right next to her. Ooh, man. It gets, I get a little excited when I see it. Mordekaiser has the Death Realm, though, ready and available. Could be able to pull her in. Elder Dragon, though, maybe getting started up here. They're teasing it, and there it is. There's the hook. Going to land down onto Zohair, finding the kill there. Now unstoppable. Slacking, going to go down. Blood King pulling them down into the Death Realm here, looking for the kill onto Polar Bear Minion, but LeBlanc is deleting the backline. Cool Crab has fallen here. The damage coming on through. Polar Bear Minion survives the Death Realm, and it is absolute domination here from the side of OGB. Double kills and teleports into the base now, looking for this inhibitor. The respawn timers are quite long here at 33, almost 34 minutes into the game. They have the wave here. No one is spawning here anytime soon for the side of Omega Gaming Banditos. The first Nexus Tower will fall, and Rude Dude, I believe that this is the end here of game number 2, and unfortunately for OGB, they will not be moving on in the UJL playoffs, and Oasis captains will find their victory in game number 2.
Yep, definitely a well-deserved victory for the Oasis captains. We can't take anything away from these guys, that they played their hearts out in this particular series and really came through. Deserved to for the Oasis captains. Unfortunate for OGB that they are now unfortunately going to be out of the UJL series, but on reflection, you can't really say that we're surprised from those 2 games. Not too much going in the favour for OGB right there.
And you really do have to hand it to Oasis captains just playing really, they played a really fast-paced game in game number one where they had a dominating early game. They're able to get the advantage and then snowball their lead. And then we saw kind of the exact opposite of that in game number two, where they didn't have a huge, massive lead in the early game, but they were able to control the map. They were able to get to the places they needed to get to, faster and quicker, and they just had better macro overall here. Uh, they played a very slow League of Legends there, looking and picking their fights accordingly. And at the end of the day, it just amounted into kind of this stone wall of pressure that OGB just could not break through.
Nope, they really couldn't. It does take actually, them out of the UJL, and with unrelenting pressure coming through from the top side of the map, deserved victory. But I think
Hmm.
that's gonna do it for us. Unless you've got any final notes here, idea.
I do not. Good luck to Omega Gaming Unleashed. I do believe that they are playing their matchup today. So, looking forward to seeing what exactly the results of that matchup will be overall. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to close out the broadcast for today. I'm the Idea PC, joined by Rude Dude 1 for the color and production. Thank you all so much for your time. Thank you all so much for viewing. Thank you to World Class there for the raid of with a party of 27 people joining here for us here for the end of the broadcast. But you know what? It's been all good. Ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful night. And again, this is Omega Gaming Esports signing off.